So Falcon Rex leads us off with a serious topic here. So we have wondered throughout college football nation when the NCAA would strike, when they would start to explore some things that they certainly have the right and probably obligation and responsibility to do so. So they have brought some members of their governing body on the campus of Miami, on the Coral Gables campus, to interview John Ruiz in particular, but also a number of people in the area and at the school. And so Falcon Rex's question is simply the NCAA not targeting necessarily, but certainly investigating, looking at, inquiring. An inquiry would be probably the best term for it. Miami, and we don't know if they'll move on to Alabama, Texas A&M, or others, but this is the first school they've selected.
And I mean, it's Miami. We continue to set the standard, honestly. It's because Miami was at the forefront and continues to be at the forefront of NIL. And they did an inquiry, so they did talk to people. It wasn't an investigation, so it's different than that. But basically, I mean, I'm not going to fault him. I know everybody was trying to dunk on him, but Ross Dellinger, from Sports Illustrated was the first one who tweeted that out. And then other entities confirmed that, The Athletic and Yahoo and all kinds of other places. But his tweet was a little salacious, made it seem as though it was more of an investigation than an inquiry. And basically, the NCAA came down and they said, okay, we're going to talk to people. We're going to figure out how this is working on the ground because we wrote these bylaws and everything. And Miami seems to be, doing it loudly. I put up a tweet, about John Ruiz, basically, real G's moving silence like lasagna, shout out to Lil Wayne. But you don't have to be braggadocious about it. And Alabama and Texas A&M, they're offering all this money. They're doing all these things, but you can't put a name to the person who's doing that. And that's what boosters really should be. But yeah, the NCAA did come down and talk to Miami. And it is my sincere hope that they're going to some of these other places because trust and believe this NIL money is flying in other places. I mean, Tennessee gave Nico Imaliava $8 million. It's the worst kept secret in recruiting. But you want to come down here. You know what I mean? Alabama and A&M are not even talking about the NIL, but you got their coaches going in public and calling each other out for all kinds of malfeasance. And I've spoken about things that I've heard from the trail about them dropping off bags and things that have been done for years. But again, you show up to Miami first. And then, you get some clicks if you're Sports Illustrated because you couch it in a certain way as more salacious than investigatory. And investigatory to learn, you know what I mean, of what's going on. Not I'm trying to find something, just let's investigate how this actually works because we wrote these bylaws and we really don't necessarily even know. But you know what? Hashtag let's be jerks. If they want to come, after us, then that's fine. I am with John Ruiz in the point where he said, look, we have Darren Heitner, we have, Drew Rosenhaus, all these other lawyers and agents and things, and John Ruiz being a credentialed lawyer himself, said, we looked at all the legalese, we looked at all the standards, and we're 100% within the bylaws of what was written. So if they change the bylaws, then we will change what we're doing. But based upon what was written, there is zero room to say that we've done anything untoward. And I take him at his word because why would I not? But yeah, it is a little funny that out of everyone in the world who's been doing NIL stuff with all this, money coming around, Texas even came out and said any offensive line who comes to Texas, minimum $50,000. Boom, for the entire offensive line room. That's, if you have 10 guys in the room, that's $1 million. Or sorry, 20 guys in the room. That's $1 million a year, right? And you got some 4 stars and 5 stars, so you're probably going to pay them more. So it's probably going to be, you know what I mean? But you're not talking to them. You're not talking to A&M, who spent $82 million. what did I say in the tweet? The entire GDP of sub-Saharan Africa is what they spent on this last recruiting class. You know, like, it's a little curious that you came to Miami first, but it is what it is. So I'm not scared about it. I'm not worried about it. I don't think that there's going to be anything that comes from it. Even if you read the articles, even the one that Dellinger wrote, it is way less eye-catching than the tweet that he put out. So I'm not worried about
it. The number you just gave up for Texas A&M, where is that substantiated?
I mean, I exaggerate for comedic effect. I don't know exactly what the number is.
I was going to say, I never heard 8.
It was substantial.
Yeah.
I don't know what the number is, and yes, I exaggerated a number, but they were not thrifty in the 2022 recruiting cycle. That's all I can say.
So Ruiz made the statement that he represents 115 athletes. Most attend Miami, but not all. North Carolina, FIU. And his NIL payroll is currently at about $7 million. So, oh my goodness, can I do the math on that? That would be about $60,000 per 115 athletes at $7 million total. Sounds like about 60,000 per. Yeah,
that's just short of 61. Yeah.
Okay.
Is the average.
All right. Because I think that because of the numbers we've heard for Quinn Ewers and Bryce Young and the basketball player at Tennessee, you know, a lot of people think that just everyone's getting ridiculous amounts of money. And there are also some very nominal and very important to those individual athletes, and it's working for them. And it's great if you can pick up $5,000 or $10,000 for what this is supposed to be. And it's certainly their right as Americans. So yeah, it's either we won't hear anything else of it. They've come into town, conducted their interviews, and they're leaving. That's that. Or maybe their choice was, okay, on the surface, we're going to say that we're just wanting to get familiar with the process and hoping to uncover something if it's there.
I mean, they probably are. And again, the NCAA really doesn't have the ability to investigate anything. They're only going to find something if somebody snitches. But again, when you're doing things along the lines of what was, you know, written as the policy or standard, hey, that is what it is. Am I saying that the bag man has completely gone away? No, absolutely not. But it's not in the NIL program. The bag man is something unto itself.